All right, guys. Well, it's been a while. Oh. So guys, it's not what you think, all that coughing. Well, anyway, I don't do real vlogs. And not a huge fan of channel updates or life updates, whatever you want to call them. Get on the right track here. However, probably owe you an explanation of lack of content over the last several months. They get away to do one or two. Anyhow, I've been battling work for just about a year now, maybe even longer. What I do for a living, this isn't to demean anybody's job or anything. If you're making widgets, you screw up a widget and you have issues for an hour or a day or a week or something. But if you're in the business I'm in, your widget screws up, you're in it for the long haul. It's 12 to 18 months, and I'm at 12 out of 18 right now. And before last weekend, I worked about 7 weekends straight. Which, whatever, that's a part of life. I mean, you got to do the job, especially if it's your job. You got to make it right. So but that has not made for a good riding schedule. And out of the last 12 months, the last 4 months have been just complete stinking mayhem. Back in October, I went back east for a wedding. Came back from that, and I got COVID. That was 2 weeks work from home, but thank goodness it was just a mild case. Both my wife and I contracted it. Of course, put off my wife's surgery, and we had that scheduled for a little while back here. So the last weekend was we get a weird holiday, three-day holiday weekend, and I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna do a bunch of videos, had stuff planned, and all psyched to go, but ended up getting a cold that was treated me worse than COVID ever thought of doing. Man, it knocked my crap out for nearly the whole past week. I'm just really getting to 80-90%. Tested, of course, for work. I can't go to work unless I've been tested when I've got any symptoms like that. And of course, it was no fever or whatever. Don't get into too many details. However, I tested twice and it wasn't that, but man, whatever it was, whew. So that screwed up last weekend. Had a little opportunity today to get out on the bike for a little bit, so I figured I'd hit this trail. Doesn't really go anywhere. I wanted to go for a ride, so I figured I wanted to take you guys along, so I figured a vlog would suffice for the content, I guess. Great ideas about doing some third-person shots or whatever you want to call it. I'm tired and things kicking my butt still. We'll go for a little nap right now under a saguaro. Especially with as short as this little run is, it's part of a greater loop. There's some pretty scenery and stuff. Right here, let's see, it's going to the outside. Let's see, where else is there a note here? I did sell the WR, kind of hanging on to the cash for a little bit. Super nice guy from down in Tucson bought it. And I was asking how to use the... I didn't tell him anything about the channel or nothing. And he was asking about how to operate the Yamaha GYTR tuner that came with it. And I said there's a bunch of videos up on YouTube. They're pretty easy to follow. And I wasn't really recalling or wasn't thinking about it popping up in a search. However, first gear, did a search and found my channel, which is alright. Said he found my video helpful, so that's a good thing. I'm glad to be able to help people out with some of the instructional ones that I do. I'm gonna get through this gate up here and I'll talk to you on the other side. Alright, typical fashion for the way things are going lately. Opened the gate, got the bike through, and just about every battery I have needed to be replaced. That's all taken care of. But anyway, I'm sitting on the dough from the WR. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Took some of it and put it towards some stuff for the side-by-side, but I plan on replacing that money. I've been hemming and hawing, maybe get another dirt bike, but one of the reasons why I sold the WR, it's been sitting and thing runs great, and I just hate to see it sit. My hands have been having an issue with just stopping working, and while it doesn't not happen on the KTM here, it happens more frequently on a dirt bike. So still have it in the back of my mind, maybe to pick up a two-stroke of some description, most likely KTM 300. But more than likely not. I had after a real major wreck about 20 years ago, I had given up dirt bikes. I had a major wreck on a road bike that made me rethink the physicality of riding a dirt bike. Ooh, this is going to get loosey-goosey here. Wasn't paying attention. So I figure I got 20 years more dirt bike riding than I was supposed to. But like I said, that's a thought process. Been looking at just something to putt around with, like a Royal Enfield Interceptor. Guess that's what you call it. There was a Bonneville T214 for an awesome price. But I have yet to pull a trigger on anything like that. Like I said, I gotta replenish some of those dollars back. Oh, I had silly ideas like getting a Grom or something like that, but I look like a moron riding one of those things. Too tall and athletically obese to ride on one of those. Have entertained the thought of building an electric bike. Ride Freak kind of, he's been doing a thing with a fat tired self-build, and I was thinking about something like that, direct. It's not a hub drive, it's a direct sprocket drive deal. And then Vegas Romaniac, he's been toying with different ones. I don't know what kinds those are, but those are pre-made. Seems like the pre-made ones you gotta put a lot into afterwards anyway, so might as well just build your own, I guess. But that's kind of floating out there, nothing real too particular solid on that. Like I said, I've got the side-by-side. My wife's been enjoying hunting around with me. For that thing, I haven't been filming too much of that. The last time we were out was back in the holidays. Ended up, well, the thing came, it was used, so dude that had it let some friends or family take it and ended up smacking some mesquite or palo verde trees, whatever. So it's pretty well scratched up when I got it, which is fine. I usually ride them where they're supposed to be. But I put a battery in the thing and put a light bar and rear lights and did a couple services on it. So that's pretty much up to speed. I still got to put a front bumper on it and new set of tires. I got those already sitting in the garage, so those are someday projects. I will probably put up some side-by-side videos just to keep things going when I get the time. And if I have the chance, I may do some non-motorcycle stuff. Hopefully it'll be of interest to folks. Just to keep some videos going, because since I haven't put up weekly videos, it's really killed the views. Try to make it good content, but just about run out of good winter weather here. Thinking that this is the last cold front that's going to come through. It's been a fairly warm winter anyway. But March, coming up in a few days here, is harbinger of summertime. We start climbing up through the 80s, and by mid-April we're usually into 90 territory, flirting with that. So by no means is winter riding season's over. It's just picking your times to ride and stuff. So all the weirder of this little crazy time we live in. I live in a county island. There's no mayor or city council. It's an unincorporated place. So there's no cops, there's no street lights, there's no pavement. And pretty much I live on a divided up ranch. So it used to be a big ranch property. Right down the road from my house, about a half mile or so, it's the old ranch house, and the family lives on a couple 3 acres right next to it. But there's no central planning for it, or so really it's kind of chopped out, lots of dead ends and weird little roads. It's rural, so most of this time, I mean, the time I've lived there, biggest thing is either maybe a couple neighbors get hot-headed at each other and call each other out, or let's see if I can pay attention here. Yeah, other than that, it'd be like either someone's livestock or cattle or horses get loose or something like that. But a few weeks back we had tweaker end up out in our little parcel of joy, and long story short, ended up tearing up my neighborhood. He landed in my front yard about 10 feet from the well we have. I ran out and pulled him out of his car and said a lot of bad words. I think it was pretty apparent and clear to him that he picked the wrong neighborhood, and I realized I was in my jammy bottoms with no shoes. He twisted away, got away, and ran down the road. One of my neighbors took off after him. Of course, I went back in, grabbed the truck, because he was headed out to go out in the desert. I was concerned about my neighbor, so jumped in the truck, and I knew about where he'd have to come out. So I stopped the truck and I heard a blood-curdling scream. Now, one thing I did leave out here is from the time he got out of the, when I removed him from the vehicle, he was squealing, just yee, yee. So I could hear him running off in the desert, making this noise the whole time. And unbeknownst to me, my neighbor had circled back and headed for the Casa. Most of our neighbors were out in the middle of our road, chit-chatting and catching up on things. And I'm out after this guy, so I knew when I heard the blood curdling scream, he hit the barbed wire in the desert. And that little squealing noise, and I could see he was running with his phone in his hand, and the light was on, so I could see him coming. And he had to come down through a couple of properties. Must have flipped over the barbed wire to get on that side. So I stopped the truck in the road about 50 yards in front of him, and I was running alongside the barbed wire. And I was cussing him and telling him to stop. And I don't think he had a whole grasp of reality. And I told him, don't make me come over there. Well, of course, he made me come over there. So I jumped through the barbed wire. Barbed wire opened up my back pretty good. Tore my shirt off. I got back up, ran after him, and adrenaline's an amazing thing. It'd take 30 years off your age for sure. And I caught up to him at the ranch house. There was a little 40-watt bulb on the porch of the ranch house, so you could just about see. So like I said, I'm about half mile away from my house now, and still got my jammy bottoms on, but I did have shoes. And in the corner, he fished himself out a broom handle or a mop handle or something like that, and he goes to hauling it off on me. I grabbed the mop handle, yanked it out of his hands and pitched that down. I grabbed him by the right wrist and shoulder, and I threw him on the ground. And what happened, I ended up landing on my right wrist, tore that up pretty good. So now I've got Mr. Squeaky by the hand like it's our first date. Pitch black. And like I said, a half mile from my house. So I commenced yelling and hey, yell. And of course, with whatever antics were going on up there, they couldn't hear me. And by this time, the folks that own the property that live in the house right in the adjoining acreage, they realize I'm over there, and the guy goes, "Hey, you're not supposed to be over there." I'm like, "No." Well, say, "No crap. Can you help me?" "Nope, deputies are coming. They'll be here in 20 minutes. So now, got my first date by the hand like we're in love. And let's see if this is the right way. Yep. And I'm feeling pretty much screwed. He's still wriggling around. The only thing I could think of in Spanish at the time with my mental demeanor was "no mas," so that at least calmed him down for a little bit. But I still had him by the hand, and he was on the ground. He wasn't getting back up. So screaming over to the neighbor guy over there, and, "Can you get me some zip ties? Can you help me out? Can you go down and tell the folks down the street?" He wouldn't do nothing. Him and I are going to have a conversation here one of these days when I catch him at the mailbox. However, about 15 minutes later, 7 deputy sheriffs vehicles show up, and I had to flag them down. They were going to go right by. Nobody told them exactly where to go. Nobody knew where I was. So that's one thing. If you've got neighbors, whether you live in town or rural, make sure you have a game plan for emergencies. So I'm yelling, screaming, jumping up and down, and luckily they saw they were able to see a 55-year-old overweight fat man without a shirt on, half naked, flagging them down, and they stopped right in front of that ranch house, and it's probably about a 50-60 yard run in, and they came in just like it was cops. There was 7 vehicles there, lights going. They even had a light on a pole, and 5 of these deputies come in, and they're drawn, they've got lights, and I had my hands up. I said, can I put my hands down? They said, sure. And it took 4 deputies to put that guy in handcuffs. So they wriggled him in and put him in an ambulance, and as soon as they got him in there, he went night-night. So that was a very exciting evening. And whoever called, the police didn't call, or the deputies didn't call 911. They called on the regular non-emergency line, which I have no idea what the mentality for that was. So it took them extra long to get there. Of course, I didn't have my phone. Really, I didn't have any place to put it. But you may say, well, what the crap did you go out and chase this guy down for? Well, I'm not the type of person to wait for the government to come help me. And I was concerned about my neighbors, other than some of my neighbors may not have been concerned about me, particularly the folks that live right next door to that ranch house. So I just wasn't going to let it happen in my neighborhood, and probably do the same thing again, except for I'd probably be a little better dressed. And I finally figured out why on every show of cops there's that guy without a shirt on. Since it was me this time, I know it's just heaven sent that you in every altercation that involves calling up the local or county 5-0, someone's got to have their shirt off. Anyway, that's a little microcosm into my existence and why I haven't really posted a whole crap load of anything. I hope to get a few tidbits in here. Like I said, I'm going to maybe try to get some non-riding content in, so try to make it interesting. Anyhow, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you letting me earn your subscription. If you're subscribed, I'd really ask you if you would subscribe, ding that bell so you get notified when I put up new videos. Please comment, like, and share. Adios.